What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Cash It. I'm Howard Bender. Adam Ronis here by my side. And oh, baby, there's so much going on right now in sports between the World Series and the NBA and the NHL, and of course, Week 9 of the football season. This has been there's been a crazy year. Adam, well, first off, how are you, man? This whole weekly show. It's sometimes forget that we haven't had a chance to talk regularly. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Busy time, a lot going on. Fun time in sports though right now, so things are pretty good.
Things are pretty good. How's your fantasy football season going so far? Winning some, losing some?
Some good, some bad.
What's the worst?
The worst?
For me, it's the Scott Fish Bowl. My team is atrocious. It's horrifying. I got hit with injuries, and I invested in the Raiders as like a stack for the tournament. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, and Hunter Renfrow. So that's how my season's going, at least in the Scott Fish Bowl. The rest of them's going pretty well.
Fish Bowl, I'm 8-8. I think you need 13 wins to get to the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, there's 3 weeks left, which means I have to go 5-1 or get into points. That team is not that good. I guess my NFFC Silver Bullet team is not very good. That's you get one entry. So it's like a single entry DFS tournament. So you don't get all these guys compiling. That team's kind of struggled. Even though I have Barkley as the first pick that I took, but just, guys underperforming. Quarterback's been a problem. I've had to roll with Geno Smith, picked him up off waivers. Obviously, he's been pretty good, but, not among that elite. And then I have some good – if you hear the team, you're like, oh, it's pretty good. But, it's just like Ramondre Stevenson. He's good, but there were weeks early on where, they didn't do much. And the receivers have been hurt by injuries. Cortland Sutton obviously has fallen apart the last few weeks. Michael Pittman's been up and down. McLaurin obviously has just kind of come to life the last couple of weeks. So that's probably my worst team. Even though my home league team is 6-8 because we do double headers, I have more points than the team in second and third who are 11-5. So I feel like I'm going to make the playoffs because, well, I should. I'm in contention because we do top 5 records and then the team with the most points. So I'm right there right now, and I have some good players. So I think I can rebound in that league. But yeah, there are some leagues where it's disappointing. My GST team is not that good. I can probably still get in on points. I think I'm 4-4 now. Am I? Oh shoot, yeah, I'm 4-4. But I need Cooper Kupp to play this week, or I'm screwed. But yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if you've looked at your teams. This is a brutal bye week. 6 teams on bye, and there are some leagues where I'm like, I really have to start this guy. That's just the way it is, man. And I know we have 6 teams on bye next week too.
Yeah, the bye weeks aren't really killing me that much. I mean, for this week, it's kind of funny actually. Last week was probably going to be my worst, just because it was the Chargers and the Chiefs who were on the bye week. My GST team. Oh my God, did we take a crap on ourselves this past week? I mean, no Mahomes and Kelsey, and Mahomes and Kelsey have been doing a lot of carrying for my team. So, that kind of hit me a little hard there. This week, I don't know. I guess I'm not getting hit as hard as many other people who are getting hit. I also have like some very interesting situations. Like, for example, like in my GST league right now, I mean, I've got Raheem Mostert, and so I'm going to end up losing value here because of Jeff Wilson. That's just fact. And, Mostert, he got hurt on like the first play of the game. He made me a little nervous. But for the same token, then I've got Deion Jackson still sitting on my roster. I'm not even a Jonathan Taylor owner. So that's starting to look up or shape up a little bit for me. And so I'm kind of excited about that. Chuba Hubbard, hopefully coming back. So I've got some interesting guys still sitting on my bench to kind of mix in. Oh, and then the Chargers situation. Did you see the report on Keenan Allen today? We are recording this, by the way, people, on Wednesday, November the 2nd. Did you see the update on Keenan Allen?
Yeah. Kind of not really surprised by it.
No, I'm not really surprised by it either. It's just, I mean, I already in leagues that ran waivers on Tuesday. I went in for a lot of Josh Palmer. I didn't feel like I didn't have to do it for big bucks because everybody was so focused on Duvernay and Demarcus Robinson this week. So I feel
Really?
like I
Palmer should have been the number one. I mentioned
that's what I thought. Yeah,
I mentioned it yesterday. Like I thought he was clearly the number one pickup of the week.
I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I feel like I was blessed to have stolen Josh Palmer from people because they were so focused on the Ravens wide receivers. I didn't get it. And I've actually got DeAndre Carter already in the GST.
He's even another pickup too.
Yeah. Pretty psyched about that. Pretty good. Yeah, listen, fantasy football this year it's been weird, right? I mean, it's not just me.
Oh, dude, I texted Chris Vaccaro the other day because he's an NFFC Hall of Famer, plays in a lot of high stakes leagues, and I said, "Is this the most challenging fantasy football season ever?" Because it is for me. He said, "Without a doubt." And I know everyone's gonna be like, "Well, we say this every year." No, this year has just been because the offensive scoring is down. You have a lot of duds every week. How many times do we get players with 1, 2, 3 points? Devontae Adams last week. You never see that from Devontae Adams. I know he had an illness, but the Raiders just didn't show up. The Bengals this week didn't show up. Now you got fortunate. Higgins got the touchdown late, although I lost the league by 0.9. I needed one more yard from Higgins or Kareem Hunt that night. I lost by 0.9. So, in the end, Higgins came. It wasn't as brutal, 3 for 49 in a touch. Boyd had a touchdown, but that was a disappointing performance. Burrow didn't have a good game. Like, you're just seeing so many down performances. And the other reason is the quarterback play, because in years past, we said, all right, you can wait on quarterback. And a lot of times it worked out. It has failed in a monumental way this year. Derek Carr, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, these guys are crushing you. They're just crushing you. So I think it's the offensive line play has been poor. The quarterback play has been poor. The scoring's been down. So if you have a couple dominant players, and we talked about it with you in some of your teams just a few weeks ago, you got a Josh Jacobs, and I know he had a down game this week, but you have like a Jacobs, a Tyreek Hill, like a handful of players, the elite quarterbacks. It's leading you to victory most weeks because they've been so consistent and put up such dominant performances where if you're relying on some of these garbage quarterbacks, it's crushing you every week.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of funny. You had just said something that I was talking about somebody else, and I just lost the point that I was going to make off of it because I said something very, very similar about it being, with the scoring down and it being a very weird year. And, and it's funny too, because I can't really remember the last time we saw, listen, we've had the 1-1 has been a bust every year now for the last 5 years, whether it's McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley or Jonathan Taylor now. I mean, it's just, we're just in this horrible spot for these early picks. But I mean, we've seen it all over the place with even just more than that. And I'm talking about, Najee Harris and where his value's gone. The backfield committees. How about everybody who paid up for DeAndre Swift? Like that dude, that DeAndre Swift is no more than a third down pass catching back. You know that, right?
I think with him, it's been the injuries, though. He's only played 3 games and he left one early. So I think it's injuries with him. And I know you're probably going to say, well, Jamal Williams last year, but Williams got touches early last year. But as the season got along, he kind of got faded out of the offense. So I think with Swift, it's been injuries. And then you hear this past week, Campbell say, yeah, we probably shouldn't have pushed him so hard and given him many touches. And I'm thinking like, really, bro? He had 5 carries for 6 yards and 5 receptions for 27 yards. How hard did you push this motherfucker? And then they said earlier, yeah, he feels better than last week, and he didn't practice. Now, I'm not going to go crazy. It's Wednesday. A lot of guys don't practice. But, yeah, he's just frustrating right now. I think the lesson here with him, you just can't draft him early next year because he's a guy that has shown it's hard for him to stay on the field. And I know he played 13 games in each of his first 2 seasons, but it's just being on the injury report, constantly banged up, and he's really reliant on pass catching. He had 114 carries in 2020 and 151 last year. He's not even going to come close to that. So a lot of his value is tied to the passing game. So I think with him, it's injury related with him. I don't think it was going to be like Jamal Williams would have been involved, but I don't think it would have been as stark at it. Do you know offhand? Let me ask you, and maybe you do. Don't even look it up. How many rushing touchdowns does Jamal Williams have this year?
How many does he have this year?
Yeah.
I haven't looked, but I'll go with 6.
8.
He's got 8 already. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, see, here's the thing. It's not just because yeah, you could turn around, you could say maybe the touches would have been different had Swift stayed healthy. Jamal Williams is that guy that Dan Campbell loves.
Okay, I get that. How many rushing touchdowns did he have last year?
How many? I don't know.
What's your guess?
8.
3.
I'm not talking about last year. I'm just talking about this year.
So you expected Jamal Williams to have 10 touchdowns this year rushing?
No. I didn't expect it. What I'm saying is though, is right now,
right.
If I'm looking at if I'm talking about, trading DeAndre Swift or trading for DeAndre Swift, I think you're trading for a third down pass catching back right now.
No, I agree. Someone in our Discord today said, hey, should I trade, what was it? Oh, Pittman for Swift. And I said, you know what? I wouldn't do it because Swift's been banged up. And, also this team sucks. They could shut him down. Almost every team's in contention except a couple. Detroit's one of them. And Houston, if this lingers, it's a shoulder and an ankle. So I wouldn't trade for him right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested either. And I think that Jamal Williams is that type of guy who won't go away now because Dan Campbell loves him so much.
Well, yeah, and you saw you don't watch Hard Knocks, but
no, but I know the whole whole bit with him for Hard Knocks, right? That helps. What Hard Knocks does is it helps keep him. It makes it a better story for Campbell to continue using Jamal Williams because everybody who watched Hard Knocks loves Jamal Williams.
I think they have to at this point because they can't subject Swift to these touches. I mean, even this week with Swift back, Jamal Williams still only had 10 carries. It was 10 for 53. He did have 3 catches for 23 yards, which was both a season high, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, it looks great. But I know you don't like Jamal Williams, or at least you've made fun of him, but his personality-wise is great if you've ever seen his interviews or seen clips of him.
Yeah. Oh, I used to call him Jamal for Williams because when he was with Green Bay, he would sit there and he would poach the touchdown carries that he shouldn't be poaching. And
I agree. And he's doing the same thing now in Detroit.
Used to piss me off. Yeah, but now I like him. Now I'm like, and come on, he's got a revenge game narrative going on against Green Bay this week. So come on, give it to me. But I mean, yeah, I think that DeAndre Swift, I think people who are looking at DeAndre Swift as being a guy, he ain't a guy anymore. I think that he has definitely been relegated this year. And like you said, it's the shoulder, it's the shoulder and the ankle, and we'll see what happens here. But I mean, I think that his opportunities are going a lot less. And and it's kind of funny. You might think this crazy, but I almost would prefer Khalil Herbert.
No, it's not crazy. Herbert's stock's on the rise. I have him in a few leagues. I'll actually be starting him. I know Montgomery played a lot more snaps, but the touches were very close. Herbert looks more explosive. He's the quicker back. And we know they're going to run the football a lot. As much as Justin Fields has looked better, they're going to run the football a lot. And, I know we'll get to the games later, but that could be a competitive game this week at home against Miami, assuming the weather is good.
Assuming the weather is good. And yeah, I'm very much I'm very excited for that game. Actually, I think I wrote it up for picks wise.
Yeah, it's actually one of the better games of the week. And every week we go through it and like this game sucks, this game sucks. People complain about the primetime games, and I'm like, guys, do you realize there's like 4 good teams in the NFL? By process of elimination, we're just not going to get a lot of good primetime games. There's not a lot of good teams. Once again, this week. So last week, I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast. There was one game with 2 teams with winning records. That was Seattle and the Giants. That turned out to be a shit game. Yep. This week there are 2. And if I told you the 2 and asked you to guess the lines, you would be totally off base. Because both games this week involving 2 teams with winning records, both lines are 12.5 points. The Bills and Jets and the Titans and the Chiefs. So that sums up the NFL this season.
Damn.
How nuts is that, right?
That is pretty crazy.
And both lines are valid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, easily valid.
So, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I agree. I think Miami, Chicago is one of the better. I'm actually intrigued by the Ravens Saints on Monday night. Yeah, but there's not a lot of. I mean,
Detroit. I think Detroit, Green Bay will be fun. I'm kind of interested in whether or not Cordarrelle Patterson comes back.
Yeah.
Right. He was activated from IR.
That's big for fantasy because people will probably like, oh, I got Algier this week. And it's like, oh, maybe not. Or even Caleb Huntley. So that really makes that backfield, again, with all the bye weeks, very interesting for fantasy too, if he does return.
To be perfectly honest, my fingers are crossed that he doesn't come back.
You have
because Algier. I have Algier.
Okay, yeah.
I just give me one game. Like I was like, oh, Algier running against the Chargers. Everybody loves running against the Chargers. I did the DFS watch list over at Fantasy Alarm, and I wrote up Algier because of this matchup. And now it's like I'm sitting here watching to see whether or not Cordarrelle Patterson, because he was activated from IR, which opens up that 21-day window. Right. Where they can activate him onto the roster. So I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I know he was back at practice today. I'm like, oh, please look sluggish. Please look like there's a lot of rust on you. Something, anything. Save me one more Tyler Algier game. He was just starting to come into his own too.
Yeah. I kind of have a feeling Patterson's going to play.
Why would you?
I'm just telling you the truth.
But I don't want the truth. Okay. I don't want the truth. I can't handle the truth.
He's sitting this week.
Who?
Patterson.
Is he?
No, I'm just trying to make you feel better.
Well, now you're playing with my emotions. It would bum me out to have him play. I just saw
this headline. Is this true? Let me see. That this is awesome if it really happened. It says that Miss Argentina and Miss Puerto Rico got married last week. That's phenomenal.
I did not hear. What sites are you like perusing while we're having this conversation?
My Twitter feed. Come on, I'm not on a site. It came across my Twitter feed.
Came across your Twitter feed?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I see it. I mean,
well, congratulations to them.
Yeah, right. They need a third. I'm interested, although they're kind of not my type, but I'll figure.
There's no way that they're your type.
Yeah, if you're a miss or a model, yeah, you're definitely not my type.
No.
All right, back on track. Sorry about that. Anyone who knows me will get it.
It's wild. Yeah. Hi, Adam Ronis. Table for two in the rear, please.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know where I was now. Oh, we were talking about stupid Cordarrelle Patterson just gonna ruin me.
Yeah, I have no Patterson, so doesn't matter for me if he comes back.
What other situations do we find incredibly troubling? How about this? So I wrote up the game. You know what? I want to get. I don't want to spoil the point spreads. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna come back to the football schedule. We're gonna come back to the point spreads and do that. But let's do a quick transition off of football, just to throw down a quick little baseball chat here. The World Series, Adam. I know it's crushing your soul with the Phillies up 2-1, but dude, you called it. You spoke it into existence. You said right here on this podcast, you were like, I have a bad feeling that this is going to be one of those magical seasons for the Phillies. And you spoke it into existence, my man. Why did we not take the Phillies when we had them at plus odds?
I probably should have. I mean, I can't root for them, though. But this is just – it's unbelievable, man. Like, they don't lose at home. That crowd's electric. I mean, game one, man, they were up – they were down 5-0 to Justin Verlander. I know Verlander has a terrible history in the World Series, but you can't lose that game. They allowed the Phillies to come back, and I knew the Phillies were never dead. I was out at a bar watching it with someone, and I knew it wasn't over. and he had, I think, 2 strikes on Harper. Could have got out of the inning at 5-2, gives up the hit, ties it at 5. Castellanos making catches like he's a fucking Gold Glover now. Real Muto just hits it over the wall. And the Astros respond in game 2. But I think the rainout certainly helped Philly because, we're recording this before game 4 and they have Aaron Nola. Now they pushed up to game 4. And then they'll have to go with Noah Syndergaard though in game 5 against Verlander. But I mean, if the Phillies somehow win game 4 and 4 home runs, I mean, Lance McCullers was definitely tipping pitches. I mean, it was clear. You could see, I don't know if you watched the game, but Bryce Harper called Alec Boehm over. And I know they asked Boehm, what did he say? He's like, oh, nothing. But they clearly saw something. And then Pedro Martinez did a great video breaking it down, showing you could see this is where he held the glove for a breaking pitch. And this was a fastball. And it was a stark difference. He's like, they definitely picked up on it and they hit the 4 home runs. So that was brutal. They didn't hit anyway. Ranger Suarez, they made him look like a Cy Young. But just the way this Philly season has gone, where they backed into the playoffs, they didn't play well to finish the season. They're down 2-0 in game 1 of the wild card series against the Cardinals, score 6 runs, and then they just beat the Braves pretty easily, beat the Padres, who seem to be on a magical run, and now the Astros, the most dominant team. And there's a difference of 19 wins between these two teams in the regular season, the second biggest difference in World Series history. And if you just watch this, you're like, oh, Phillies are way better. They're the better team. And Bryce Harper is amazing. I know someone was trolling me last night because I said Bryce Harper's had an amazing postseason run. He's like, oh, he hasn't done nothing that Alec Bregman and all these other guys have done. I said, yeah, his OPS is like 1.3. He's had 6 home runs. 4 of them have given them the lead. Yeah. And the guy's like, he's 250 in the World Series with 1 home run. That's great. They played 3 fucking games, bro. Like, come on, bro. So I stopped after that. I'm like, this guy's a moron. He's probably trolling. But I'm like, yeah, he's certainly not been impressive. I mean, look at his postseason stats. They're amazing. This guy is just unbelievable. And we all know it when he's healthy, how good he is. He's just locked in right now. You can't get him out. Castellanos has been great. Even the lesser guys, Boehm. I mean, everyone, man. They're just playing unbelievable. Their bullpen, they showed the stats of the bullpen. It wasn't great in the regular season. Each series, it's just gotten even better. And that was not a strength for them. So everything has just kind of come together for them at the right time. And we've seen it in baseball. It's just frustrating because you're going to have 2 straight years, a team with 90 wins or fewer. Again, it's not over. I don't want to count Houston out. They're great. They can come back.
Yeah, I was going to say Houston right now is plus 120 to win the World Series. For plus odds, just down 2-1, knowing that anything can happen. And yeah, I agree with you. The Phillies are definitely on this nice magical run, and everything is working beautifully for them. Schwarber looks good at the plate. Everybody looks good at the plate right now for the Phillies.
They just they feel so confident. Like
yeah.
They feel like we're not losing. And in Houston, it feels like, yeah, we're waiting for something to go wrong. They left Verlander in too long. Like, you got to take him out of the game, man. You have a great bullpen. I know it's your ace, bro. But this is the World Series. And if you've noticed too, these bullpens, every bullpen in the postseason, I guess because so many guys throw in the mid to upper 90s now, these bullpens are not getting hit. Every bullpen. Houston's bullpen has been dominant. Phillies, these bullpens don't get hit. You got to go to the bullpen quicker. And I'm an old school guy. Leave my ace in. I want him to finish the game. You couldn't do it with Verlander. You saw it. It was caving in. It was falling apart. You had to take him out. They left him in too long.
Yeah, a lot of these teams, they build their bullpen for that postseason run so that their starters only need to go 4 or 5 innings. Absolutely. It's like a friggin' all-star game where everybody's pitching 1 inning moving forward. So,
and I hate to kill Dusty Baker. I know he hasn't won a World Series, but maybe you're starting to see why. Like game 1, how do you bring Garcia in there to start the 10th when you had Ryan Stanek, a guy who's pitched out of the bullpen all year? Then Garcia gives up the home run and 2 hits. Then you bring in Stanek. If Stanek was available, why didn't he start the inning? Garcia pitched great against Seattle. They went to him as the last guy in the bullpen, and it was the scoreless game, and he gave him 5 great innings because that was the last resort. You're putting Garcia, who's been a starter all year, into a position he's not accustomed to. So I think Baker's made a couple of questionable moves here. But, yeah, I mean, look, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Phillies lose this series and Houston comes back. But like I said, this is not second guessing. I said it before the series. I was very worried about this Phillies team. Yes, on paper, Houston's great. They've been phenomenal this year, but Phillies just kind of have it. I mean, they fired their manager. Bryce Harper was hurt this year. Castellanos was hurt, missed time. Wheeler missed time. No excuse because all these teams, but I think even you mentioned you liked the Phillies before the year, and a lot of people did, and you could see why. And it's just that thing with baseball that's so frustrating. Why can't this fucking happen to the Mets where everything breaks right at the end? Can I get this next year? I have to watch every fucking NL East team do this shit. Because if the Phillies win, this is 3 out of the last 4 years an NL East team has won the World Series. And it ain't my fucking team. So why can't this happen to the Mets? Can we get a slow start next year?
Because you guys bring it on yourselves.
No, how do we bring it on ourselves?
Because the way you guys talk at the beginning of the season.
I didn't, though. I was excited. I didn't say they were winning the World Series. I said they were winning the World Series. I was never that confident. Dude, I'm a Mets fan. You think I'm going to be confident in fucking June?
Oh, all those talks about you finally have an owner who's going to pay money.
But that is true. They do have an owner who's going to spend. Now,
and what did he do at the trade deadline? He took a shit all over his fan base.
He didn't, but I think this is not the Wilpon situation where now it's the year's over and I know, oh, great, we're not going to get nobody. He's going to be aggressive. He fucked up at the trade deadline. There's no doubt about it. And I don't know if that was his call or people within the organization who said, don't give up these prospects. I don't know. But yeah, he did fuck up there. But the bottom line is it's way better than when we had the Wilpons.
Hard to have been worse than when you had the Wilpons anyway. All right. So no interest in sprinkling a little something. I mean, if Philly wins tonight, then you got to figure the Astros go to like a plus 350, plus 400, something like that, for that. So any interest at all in like sprinkling in a comeback, or you think that if the Phillies win tonight, they're going to actually win this shit in like 5?
I mean, look, it's Verlander versus Syndergaard, Game 5, and I cannot imagine Syndergaard's going more than 3 innings. But then again, he'll probably fucking pitch 6 scoreless to fucking make it worse for me. I mean, you have to say they get a shot because it's winning Game 5. Then you get back home, and then they would have Wheeler and I guess Suarez again. Could Suarez go Sunday? Yeah, he would. And then I guess the Astros would have Framber and I guess McCullers again if they want. So they'd have a shot. But man, if they lose Game 4. Are they going to be able to win Game 5 in Philly? That crowd's going to be nuts. I don't know. I mean, look, if there's any team, I would say it's Houston. They've been great all year. But again, this Phillies team has just turned it on at the right time. And
I bet a buddy of mine, I said to him that this series is going 5 games. And he was like, no, it's going to be 6, 7 games. I'm like, dude, I'll give you the field. I'm telling you it's 5 games. And so we have a nice little.
Did you think it was Houston winning, or?
But of course, I thought it was Houston who was going to do it. No, I sounded like a smug douche about it because I thought the Phillies were going to crush the upset here. No, but imagine being that smug of a douche and you say, it's going 5 games no matter what, and you're right, but it's the Phillies that do it for you. I'll take that fucking bet.
Yeah, man. I mean, just unfortunately, this is probably you're going to see this. We do see it quite a bit, but I think you're going to see it more often in baseball in the future now with letting 6 teams in each league. You're going to get a team that maybe had injuries, underachieved, and then all of a sudden it just comes together and they win a World Series. And, this would be the epitome of it. An 87-win team beating, what did the Astros have? 108, 106, something like that. It was a 19.
I don't remember. It's been so long.
106 because it was 19 wins difference. So yeah, I mean, it's just frustrating, man. Like if I'm an Astros fan, I've got to be absolutely disgusted right now.
All right.
Well, bang! I already hit my prop for tonight in NBA.
I was just gonna say, let's go to something that's gonna cheer you up a little bit here. Let's talk a little NBA prop bet. So, what prop did you just hit? And let's talk about how's the start of your season going?
It's been really good. I do a weekly article on PicksWise every Friday for NBA player props. Was 3-0 week 1. Was plus 2.6 units, I think. And then this past week, 2-1. One of the props, though, was plus 105. So it's, I believe, 5-1. And I think the units are, I think 4.5 units plus so far. Okay. So it's been good. So tonight's prop was so there was an early game. Wizards and Sixers played at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm assuming they moved because it's in Philly. I'm assuming they moved that game a little earlier for the World Series because it's rare to get a 6 p.m. start. So I was just kind of monitoring the news and I saw Joel Embiid was ruled out. So same thing I did the other night. Embiid was ruled out. Immediately go to Tyrese Maxey. It was over 22 and a half points the other night. It cashed easy. And then tonight I got it at 22 and a half. I think I saw it closed at 24 and a half. He has 24 points right now with 6:54 left in the third quarter. So anytime you see him beat out, you're going to play Maxey's props. And if the books are going to keep it in this 22 and a half to 24 and a half range, we're just going to play it. He's 8 of 13 from the field, 4 of 7. He had a game this year when Embiid was out where he scored 44. He's just going to soak up a lot of usage and take a lot of shots. He doesn't get as many with Embiid on the floor, but Embiid's been dealing. He's not in shape right now. He had plantar fasciitis that limited him. Now he's dealing with an illness, so he's not even all the way back. But when Embiid's out, it opens up usage. Even Harden's props you can look at. I didn't play it, but Harden's probably going to go over his number. I think he was 22, 23 and a half. You could look at his rebounds, assists, and points as well. He crushed it the other night. Right now, he's sitting at 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and that's with 6:54 left in the third quarter in a 2-point game. And then the other day when Embiid was out, Harden had 23 points, 17 assists, and 7 rebounds. So anytime Embiid is out, you're going to look to Harden and Maxey. But Maxey is the guy that I've been looking at now. I got it at 22 and a half, minus 125. Easy play for me. Even if you waited and got it at 24 and a half, assuming he doesn't get hurt in the next couple minutes, he'll go over that. And he's already played 26 minutes with 18 minutes left in this game. So we might be looking at a 40-minute night for him. So, yeah, so, early in the year, you can get some good numbers with props. One guy that I've been hammering a lot, although he did not come through on Monday night, is Tyrese Halliburton. I wrote him up both weeks on Picks Wise. He's just increase in usage. You usually look at his points and assists. He dishes a lot. He hits threes, and his role has expanded this year in Indiana. They're a bad team, so he's a guy that I look at a lot. DeRozan is a guy I like when Zach LaVine is out. I thought LaVine was going to be out tonight, and I wanted to play his prop. It was 27 and a half points, and then LaVine is in. I'm like, good thing I didn't bet it. So that's why I kind of wait on the news. Jaden Ivey is a rookie whose numbers have been pretty low. I've been looking at his props. Pascal Siakam for Toronto has been unbelievable. Fred VanVleet was out Wednesday and Monday, so I played his props. Lauri Markkanen. The Utah Jazz have been one of the biggest surprises in the NBA so far. They're supposed to be a team that tanks. They got rid of Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell. They're 6-2 going into Wednesday night. And Lauri Markkanen was a guy that I wanted in fantasy. I only did 2 season-long fantasy leagues, drafted him in one, got sniped in the other. He's averaging 22.6 points per game, 9.2 rebounds, and 2.9 assists. So I'm looking at his props. Ja Morant, he burned me the other night, but I'm going right back to him on Wednesday night. He's averaging 33.3 points per game. That's the other thing is scoring is way up in the NBA. This time last year, it was down. I think there's 10 guys averaging 30 points a game this year. Giannis, Luka Doncic's props. I mean, this guy right now, their numbers are so high. He's gone over his PRAs, points, rebounds, assists, prop, every game except one. They're high, but I don't know how you don't play it. He hasn't scored fewer than 31 points in a game this year. And the game he had 31 points Saturday, he had 16 rebounds, 10 assists. He's averaging 36.7 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, and 8.7 assists, shooting 50.3% from the field. And that's just 22.6% from three-point range. So if he even gets better from three-point range, he's just his usage is insane. He's taken 26 to 30 shots from the field a game, getting to the free throw line. So, and the other thing I would say is you're seeing a lot of slow starts with some teams. Golden State has looked pretty mediocre so far. They're 3-5. And I think I said it before, I don't think they care about the regular season. I think they're just like, all right.
They're just like, let's coast and then we'll turn it up for the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't need to. The Clippers have been a major disappointment. Once again, Kawhi Leonard is experiencing pain in his knee. And he's only played, I think, 2 games so far. So they're under 500. The Lakers sucking. That's not a shock. The Blazers have been very good, although Damian Lillard is going to miss about a week with a calf injury. The Spurs, another team that's supposed to be tanking, are 5-2. I don't know how that's happened. The Thunder, another team that's supposed to be tanking, 4-3. So you got a lot of teams that are kind of surprising. The Bucks are the lone undefeated team going into Wednesday, 6-0, even without Chris Middleton. So yeah, it's been an interesting start to the NBA season so far. And Brooklyn sucks again, 2-6, and a lot of drama surrounding them. And Steve Nash is out, and we'll see if Udoka. That's what the rumor is, that he is going to be the next Nets head coach. He was the coach that the Celtics suspended for the year for having some affairs with people in the organization, and the Celtics are like, yeah, you can have them. We don't want anything from you. No compensation. So that's not a red flag. So yeah, the one thing about the NBA, there's always good drama. And the other thing, Paolo Banchero, the number 1 pick. Oh my God, this kid is unbelievable. We knew he would be good, but man, averaging 21.8 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and a block. So we were playing his prop early in the year because the number was low. The books have kind of caught up now. I think it was 23.5 points last night. I didn't play it, and he only scored 15. So the last couple games, 15 and 18 points. Shot 6 of 20 against Dallas. Only took 13 shots against OKC. I don't know why. Oh, one more. I can go on and on, but I'll cut it short here.
I mean, I hope that everybody out there is just writing some of this shit down, because this is you need to just, these are the players that you need to be watching. These are the situations that you need. And yeah, Adam's got his article that comes out on, on Friday, but again, whether you're playing Thursday night or whether you're playing, over the weekend, these are great, just great ways to jump into it. So yeah, no, I dig it. You go as long as you want, man.
One more. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh
no. I stop at that one right there.
What?
I have no idea.
Oh, well.
I don't even know who the fuck Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is, other than the fact that he plays basketball.
He's on the Thunder, and man, every time I know he's playing, I'm playing his props. This guy, so last night it was 31.5. Actually, what was funny, the line dropped because Josh Giddey was ruled in. And I was like, that really doesn't matter. So the number was 31.5 points and assists. He had 34.6 assists. He's averaging 31.5 points per game and 6.8 assists. These are his games: 32, 28, 33, 24, 38, 34. And he's averaging 23.8 shots from the field. So, and whenever he plays, I'm looking at his points or points and assists. Like the points last night, it went from 27.5 to 25.5. I'm like, Josh Giddey doesn't shoot that much, and it really doesn't affect him, but thank you for lowering their number. And he cruised past it easily. So yeah. And, obviously there'll be other spots that arise, and, we can take advantage of the books. But yeah, you could check out the article on Fridays.
Fantastic. All right. Get your NBA action in there. And Adam, let's wrap up today's show here, looking at all the lines in the NFL. Again, I've got a couple of picks on some games over at Pickswise. I wrote up the Patriots Colts. I wrote up the Packers Lions, and I also wrote up Miami Chicago. So those picks are over there. But Adam, you and I, let's start it off here with Thursday night football. Another great one for prime time, of course. The Eagles, undefeated Eagles, taking on the Houston Texans. The spread's at 14 now. The over-under is 45. I mean, you know me, and I'll say it over and over. I hate laying double-digit points. The Eagles look so fucking good.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I hate doing it too, but this team is just unbelievable right now, and the Texans are an absolute mess. We don't know if Brandon Cooks is going to play. He clearly wanted to be traded. He went on social media and said some things. He's clearly not happy. I know Philly probably will lose a game at some point, or I think they will, but it's not going to be here. I know it's a big number. The one thing about Philly is they dominate the first half. They kind of slow down in the second half. So that would be the one concern, but I can't take the Texans. I just can't do it.
I can't take the Texans either. No doubt. So that's a nice little easy peasy one there. Next game, we'll start off 10 o'clock games. Bills Jets, another big point spread, 12.5 for Buffalo against the Jets. I mean, again, The Jets just look different right now without Breece Hall under there. Zach Wilson just made a ton of mistakes last game. I'm not so much down on the Jets as much as I'm also saying Buffalo's just that flipping good, and they add a whole other element to everything with the fact that they don't take their foot off the gas. They just keep going over and over again. So I'm going to take the Bills in this one on the road. Even I'm going to lay the 12.5.
They kind of, don't you think they took their foot off the gas a little bit Sunday night? That game, they should have covered that game. That was, if you had the Bills, that was disappointing because they didn't cover against Green Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I initially thought
maybe they didn't want to embarrass Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anybody gives a shit about the Jets.
Just embarrass the guy already.
Aaron Rodgers is a treasure, dude. Come on.
He's embarrassed. I will say this. I know everyone likes to shit on Aaron Rodgers. I think Green Bay's front office has done a fucking horrendous job putting players around him.
So I get this. Here you go. I wrote my love letter on Fantasy Alarm to Aaron Rodgers. And you know what I equated it with? It's tough because I don't know if you'll get the reference, but did you ever see the movie Office Space?
Yes.
Okay. So, Milton, when they they first cancel his paycheck, then they move his desk downstairs, and ultimately they take away his stapler. That's Aaron Rodgers is fucking Milton from Office Space. They're taking away all of his weapons. They finally took away the last one in Devontae Adams, which was Milton's swing line stapler. Aaron Rodgers should burn that fucking organization to the ground. Not physically, metaphorically, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I mean, again, I said at the time, the Jordan Love and AJ Dillon picks in the first 2 rounds when you were close, it's just embarrassing.
Slap in the face.
It is. So I thought I was going to be on the Bills all week, but I might take the Jets here, just because their defense is good and they might be able to limit, not slow them down a little bit, but the other side is. Okay, Zach Wilson, I'm going to rely on him and the mistakes he made. And I know there's still we don't know about Tre'Davious White if he'll return. Jordan Poyer's probably not playing. They said he's.
I heard White got activated.
Yeah, but I don't know. Playing. They didn't guarantee if he's going to play this week. Poyer is probably not. He's week to week. If he's week to week, he's not playing. I'm going to lean Jets now, but I don't know if I'm going to lock that in. I might switch to the Bills.
I can respect that. Respect. Minnesota Vikings taking on the Washington Commanders in Washington. Home dogs, 3.5 points for the Commanders. What's your lean?
Commanders. Again, I haven't been very high on Minnesota. I know they continue to defy those odds. Washington's been pretty good against the run, which is what Minnesota likes to do. So I'm going to take the Commanders here. I think they can keep this close. And this is Cousins' first game going back to Washington. So I don't know. Is it a revenge game or does the emotions get the best of them?
I mean, I feel like you like that guy. I feel like it's more revenge game than it is like, oh, I'm so sad. I started my career with Washington and, I mean, everybody, they shat on Kirk Cousins on a regular basis. He was never revered. He was never, he was never an icon for that organization. So I'm okay with him crapping on them a little bit here. But yeah, I get, you know what? You and I went opposite on Minnesota last week. And I'm looking at it this week, and I'm kind of leaning towards you as well in that, and just taking the home dog, getting the extra hook, because I think Minnesota, the game got broken open a little bit more late. I'm just not so sure that it's really gonna be like that. I think Minnesota wins this game, but I don't think they cover.
Yeah, I actually had a pretty good week last week. It was 10 and. Wait, there was 15 games last week. I was 10-5.
Yeah, Adam, all I said was we were on opposite sides.
I know we were, and I lost. That's one of the games I lost.
And you know who won?
You.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
Miami against the Bears. Miami laying 5. They get Bradley Chubb. They get rid of Edmonds. Jeff Wilson comes into town. Mike McDaniel putting the whole San Francisco band back together for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, listen, you bulked up the ground game with a guy who already knows your system. So regardless of whether Raheem Mostert is made out of glass, at least Miami's got their players in there. I like the fact that Justin Fields has shown improvement over the last 3 weeks. I'm very happy for him. I'm happy that he gets Chase Claypool as a potential target, but who the fuck knows? I look at this one here, and I've got to go with Miami. I just think it's not even so much that Tua in the passing game and Tyreek and Waddle, and that's great. All of a sudden now against a team like the Bears, who if you just run on the Bears all day, you could just do it all day long. To have a 1-2 punch like Wilson and Mostert, and just have them ground and pound it most of the way. I'm going to take Miami. I'm going to lay the 5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears getting the 5. Miami's not going to play that way. They have Tyreek and Waddle. Those guys are going to get peppered with targets. I just don't see Miami just running the ball. And Chicago's played a lot better. They've scored 33 and 29 points the last 2 weeks. So Miami has not really blowed teams out either. And I like them. I like them a lot. They're 5-0 when Tua plays, and I like those additions. But Bears have been playing pretty well, and the Dolphins don't get much pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. Now, maybe Chubb could help that. And Chicago's line has not been as bad as we thought going into the year. And Miami is not as good on the road either. I mean, they allowed 27 points last week to Detroit, and their defense isn't great. So I think Chicago will keep this close. So, yeah, I'm taking the Bears here, getting the points.
All right. We're going to have to let me mark this one down here. Let me just take a little note. There we go. Carolina Panthers, Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals home favorite. 7.5 is what I'm seeing here. Deonta Foreman, everybody's savior, the 3-touchdown man. Maybe they get Chuba Hubbard back. PJ Walker, not terrible. DJ Moore, I tell you, man, with the exception of being an idiot and taking off your helmet and costing your team a win, I thought that was pretty darn good from them.
I think that's a stupid fucking rule, man.
Why is that a stupid rule?
Because, okay, what did he do wrong? He celebrated. Dude, I was
took his helmet off on the field of play.
So I'm saying it's a dumb rule. Like, why aren't you allowing players to celebrate? That was a big deal. That
you can celebrate all you want. Leave your helmet on. Everybody else seems to be able to.
Terry McLaurin did it, and they didn't flag him.
Was he on the field or was he on the sidelines at that point?
He was on the field. It was he's on the field saying, "This is my fucking house," because he's from Indianapolis. The play where he caught the pass and was tackled at the one that set up the Heineke, they didn't flag him.
Well, 2 wrongs do not make a right. Just because they blew the call in Indianapolis doesn't mean that it was the wrong call in Carolina.
I'm saying the rule is dumb. Like, the NFL is a bunch of bitches. They find these guys. No, they are. We if you look through the transaction log, this guy got fined $10,000 for wearing a wrong sock. This guy got $10,000 because come on, bro. And the NFL, most of these guys you see in helmets, you don't even know how most of them look. If you put DJ Moore in front of 10 people, no one would know who he is. The guy was exuberant. He made a great play. I was fucking jumping up and down watching the game, and I didn't even make the play. Yes, he's on my fantasy team, and I played his player prop, but he already cashed it at the point. Let these guys fucking celebrate. He's not disrespecting the opponent. He made a big play. What's the big deal? He took his helmet off. Really? What are we fucking doing?
It was the first thing I said. Because I jumped up too. I was freaking out. I was like, "What a fucking amazing catch!"
The fucking play.
I called my wife in from the other room. Like, you got to see this grab.
Right.
You got to check this out. And then I saw him take his helmet off, and I was like, "Oh, that dude just fucked up. He's got a penalty."
Well, with that, I agree. Okay, fine. You got to know not to do that. I think the rule is dumb. We're gonna really flag 15 yards for that. He's just celebrating. He took off his helmet. Really? That's a 15-yard penalty, which obviously cost them the game in a way because they missed the extra point, but they missed a field goal in overtime, so it doesn't matter. And Carolina probably don't want to win anyway because they want a better draft pick. But
did they cut Eddie Pinheiro, or are they sticking with him?
Oh, I don't know if they did. I didn't see if they caught him. But I mean, I just think it's a dumb rule, man. Let these guys fucking celebrate. He made a
I hear
big
you.
fucking play.
If they, in the off season, if they choose to change that rule and they turn around and they say it's not a good rule and we're gonna take it away, then I will 100% support people taking off their helmets in celebration and having a good old time. But until that day comes, I am a stickler for the rules because I do believe that football players need discipline. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile.
Nah.
Football players get into more trouble than any other sport.
But so how does taking off your helmet and celebrating equate to getting in trouble off the field?
I don't know, just saying this is something you're not allowed to do. It's in the rules. It says you're not allowed to do it. If you don't adhere to the rules, you are going to be penalized.
And the NFL has a lot of dumb rules.
So be it, man. But a rule is a rule. Just because you think it's dumb doesn't mean that it shouldn't be abided by.
It's a dumb rule.
Okay, it's a dumb rule. Listen, you know what? Roger Goodell is a dumb idiot. There's plenty of dumb, stupid people out there in the world. Dude, but without rules, Adam, then there's nothing but chaos, and we cannot live among chaos.
Again, I'm all for rules, but this one is a dumb one. We're penalizing players for taking off their helmet. I mean, really? Come on.
Maybe it's a rule in there just
so that
to
you know what
themselves.
that equates to, dude. You know what that's like. Dude, you know what that's like in baseball? The bat flip. Imagine that you get ejected for flipping your bat or something. That's what it equates to. People have a problem with the bat flipping, right? But there's no penalty for it. That's the same fucking shit. That's what it equates to. If you flip your bat.
What if the guy takes off his helmet, right, and he starts jawing and I'm the greatest.
But he didn't.
This is my house and whatever. And somebody hits him from behind and he doesn't have his helmet. If he kept his helmet on according to the rules, then he'd be safe and he wouldn't get hurt.
After the play, someone's gonna hit him.
Yeah, dude. If you're talking shit about me and my house, my mom, my wife, whatever.
What did he say? What shit did he talk that was bad?
Oh, I didn't hear. I wasn't reading his lips.
Who are you talking about?
It's not a matter of what DJ Moore did or said. I'm saying, why is this rule in place right now?
Because it's stupid. I don't know why it's in place.
No, it's not in place because it's stupid.
Why is it in place
for a specific reason.
Why?
You just think it's a dumb rule.
Why is it in place?
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's a safety thing.
How's it a safety thing?
I don't because if somebody hits him when his helmet is off and he's on the field of play, he's putting his life at risk.
Why would someone hit him after making that play?
Because maybe a person on the other side got upset with him. Maybe he was just listen. You've seen the Mike Evans, Marshawn Lattimore shit back and forth.
They have a personal history.
So what if you're saying DJ Moore doesn't have any kind of personal history with anybody in the NFL that we know about?
Well, on Atlanta, okay. If it's so obvious, who does he have a history with in Atlanta?
I have no idea. I'm not saying that.
But obvious. I mean, everyone knows about Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans? That's like the extreme top. Everyone knows that. Again, it's compared to that's like bat flipping, right? Reese Hoskins hit a home run in the playoffs, slammed his bat to the ground. That's the equivalent of what DJ Moore did. There's no penalty for that. And that actually leads to more fights because that's when someone will buzz Hoskins with a fastball, right? So if there's anyone where you say your logic is, oh, I'm trying to protect him, that would be the one. There's no penalty for any of that shit. That's the same basic thing. The guy hit a home run. He's happy. DJ Moore made a great play. He's happy. He celebrated. I agree with you. The rule's in place. It's on him. I'm saying the rule needs to fucking go. Let these guys have some fucking fun.
I got you. I'm going to Google this right now. Why can you not take off your helmet during a game? The penalty is most
Roger
often called
fun.
What's that?
Roger Goodell doesn't like fun.
No. This penalty is most often called during celebrations after touchdowns. Players are not allowed to celebrate without a helmet on, and they are also not allowed to take their helmets off on the field on purpose. This penalty is in place to keep the game running smoothly and to protect the players.
Oh, keep the game running smoothly. Get the fuck out of here. The penalty, okay, if he celebrates too much and he doesn't get back to the huddle, you're penalized because delay a game. There you go.
I love that you hate
Come on,
that
man.
word
Have
so
some
much.
fucking fun, Howard. Stop being
No,
an old
fuck that.
curmudgeon.
Why do fuck fun, dude? You let too many people have too much fun in this world, and they do nothing but take advantage of it. Then they don't want to work. They don't want to
Oh,
grind.
DJ Moore works, bro. A guy's had 3 straight years of 1,100 receiving yards with shit quarterbacks.
Yeah, he definitely has. He definitely has. He's also been the only like legit receiving option on that team too.
Which makes it even more impressive.
Nah, not really. He's only 4 touchdowns a year, dude. Who the fuck wants 4 touchdowns a year? Give me more than that.
He already has 3, so he's going to probably get his career high in a year with Baker Mayfield and Walker.
Baker Mayfield doesn't count.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's bad at football. Did we call this game Panthers Bengals? Bengals home favorite by 7.5. Who do you like, Mr. DJ Moore lover?
Panthers.
You like the Panthers?
Yeah,
here, huh?
I mean, maybe I don't think it's an overreaction, but I mean, the Bengals looked horrific without Jamar Chase. And Carolina has Brian Burns. They actually have a pretty good secondary. And they're playing well since Rule was fired and Walker at quarterback. So we just saw the Bengals get shredded by Cleveland. I know Cleveland runs games better. We saw Foreman have a really good game. And Carolina's run defense has been pretty good. And if they have to pass again with no Chase, we saw. So look, I think they'll be better. I think they win the game, but I'm going to take the points here with the Panthers.
Interesting. I'm going to take
you got
the
Bengals
Bengals.
7.5. Give me that.
What's that? Yeah, it's 7.5.
Give me that hook.
Yeah, that hook is what makes me the most nervous. Also, like I want to take the Bengals. I'd buy it down to 7 if I could, though. I don't want to do it at 7.5. Just kind of play it safe there because I do think it could be if they are successful running against the Bengals. But yeah, I agree. I think the Bengals do. I mean, the money line, it says it all right there at minus 330. The matter of whether or not they're going to cover that spread. I want to take the Bengals, but not with that extra half point. So if it stays at 7.5, I got to go Carolina. Chargers, Falcons.
Going.
What?
I know where you're going in this game.
Why? What do you mean?
You're on the Falcons, right?
Why would I be on the Falcons?
The Chargers are favored.
Chargers are favored, but they're on the road.
Okay.
They're on the road, and I'm going to take the Chargers and I'm going to lay the points. I'll call it first, and I'll say it like that. Coming off the bye week, I know all of their wide receivers are banged up, and they're going to end up with Josh Palmer and DeAndre Carter, and Gerald Everett's going to get a million points. But Falcons defense, they can't stop the run, and they can't stop the pass. Like I find it very funny that Falcons with the points is actually minus 120.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I guess because they were so good against the spread most of the year. I think it's they've lost 2 in a row against the spread now. But yeah, again, this team is a product of the division. I don't think they're that good. Even if Keenan Allen doesn't play, I think the Chargers figure this out. It's a good matchup, so I'm taking the Chargers too.
All right. Packers, Lions. All right, here we go. It's 4 now. It was Lions as a home dog at 3.5. Now it's 4. I wrote this up for Pickswise, so it's out there. I took the Packers. Which way you leaning?
Yeah, I think this is the buy low spot on Green Bay. They've been terrible. It's tough to bet on them, but if there's any week that they get going, it's got to be against Detroit. Dead last in defensive DVOA, last against the pass. I mean, this has got to be a week. A lot of Aaron Jones and Dillon. Romeo Doubs made an impressive catch last week. Maybe Alan Lazard comes back. So, Rodgers usually really good in the division. So yeah, I'll take Green Bay.
Reluctantly.
Yeah.
But that's actually going to be a fun game. It was 50. Now it's sitting down at 49.5 right now. Very interesting the way the money's coming in on this game. Very interesting. Colts, Patriots. Well, I mean, where are you at? What's your lean? Then I wrote this up for Pickswise, so it's out there already. But I'm curious as to what you have to say.
I lean the Colts getting the points. I know they're not very good. Well, then again, it's Belichick against the rookie quarterback, huh? I think it'd be low scoring and ugly. I'll take the points. I think it'd be a close game.
Basically what I said too.
Yeah.
Colts know how to run the ball. Colts also know how to stop the run. I like having Shaq Leonard and back in the on defense and backing up DeForest Buckner up the middle. I like their secondary in comparison to like Mac Jones and the hodgepodge wide receivers. I just I think that whether Jonathan Taylor's hurt or not, I think they can lean on the run. The Colts can lean on the run enough with Jackson. Maybe they get Moss involved in this one here. But yeah, I just think that there's just something about this game that just scream. Maybe it's because it's like the Colts are a hot mess, and it is Bill Belichick against a rook, and all of that playing there. But yeah, I mean, I took the Colts and I took the points as well. Jaguars hosting the Vegas Raiders. Jags are a 1.5 point home dog. Dun, dun, dun. Do the Raiders just bounce back after that debacle of a fucking game last week? I don't even know what the hell. I can't even tell you just how bad the Raiders looked against the Saints. Like, they were so bad that the first thing that I thought of while I was watching that game, aside from the fact that I was like jerking my gherkin, so happy that I had Alvin Kamara in like all my DFS lineups. But I was like, you know what? The fucking Raiders look so horrendous right now that I'm going to have to take. I didn't even look at the schedule. I was like, I don't even know who they play next week, but I'm probably going to take them with whatever points they're getting. And then I fucking look and they're favored by 1.5.
They were, but now they're dogs, you said, right?
No. Raiders are favored by 1.5.
Okay.
Jags are a home dog.
I mean, Jacksonville coming back from a London trip, no bye week. I lean the Raiders, but I really don't feel strongly about this game. I think it's a tough one.
Me neither. I think, for DFS purposes, I think fucking ETN goes off.
Oh, yeah. I played I got it last week early over 96.5 rushing and receiving yards, and he cashed that easily. ETN was one of those guys I drafted in a lot of leagues in the third round, and I looked like a fool early on, but now it's looking really good.
Adam, I don't think drafting ETN in the third round is what makes you look like a fool.
Okay, stop. I don't want to hear your slander.
So we're both on the Raiders. Seahawks Cardinals part 2. This game was an absolute smash spot 3 weeks ago. This game was going to just light everybody up in the DFS world. Everybody was locking in their shares of Geno Smith, their shares of Kyler Murray. This game went 19-9. It was like the biggest, like, up yours people game. It's got a high over-under total here at 49.5. The Seahawks are on the road. They're dogs by 2. Arizona has that advantage. My Lord, dude, I gotta tell you, I have no read on this game right now because I don't know if James Conner's going to be back, and even if James Conner is back,
doesn't matter.
You don't think it matters at all? This is just Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins over and over again.
I'm taking Seattle with the points. How are you going to back Arizona as a favorite? Kingsbury sucks as a favorite. Seattle's the better team, man. Seattle didn't even play with that well that game, and they still won. Seattle's defense has actually played a lot better. They've been one of the top teams in DVOA on defense since like week 4, week 5. I can't back Arizona in this game.
I wasn't asking you to.
Okay, well, I'm not.
This game was like the biggest shit game. Does this game hit the over, though? That's the question. Or are you that confident in Seattle's defense?
I don't know. It's tough because, that was a smash spot. Everyone was on it, and it didn't even come close. So I, I don't know. I don't know if it'll go over. What was it? 49, you said?
49 and a half right now.
Wow. Ooh. So yeah, it'll go over because everyone's going to be on the under. I have to see the first game.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I look at this game here and I'm like, it's a DFS contrarian's dream because everybody's going to be like, oh, no way this game fucking smashes. They just played a couple weeks ago and it was terrible. It was the worst. Loading up, Seahawks Cardinals. All right, Rams visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks are favored by 3 at home. I'm actually looking at. This is two teams that are just going in horrible directions right now. Brady and the Bucks look absolutely atrocious. Their defense does not look good, but the Rams, for the same token, their offense has been a hot mess as well. Outside of Cooper Kupp, there really is not a bright spot on this team. And then you got the Rams, who their defense, which just isn't controlling enough. I hate this game. I don't like this game. I'm going to take Tampa Bay Bucks, and I'm going to lay the 3 points because I feel like they're two teams that are just in shit situations right now. And so I'll just lean on the home.
Yeah, I just think the Rams are worse than the Bucks right now. The Rams have lost 3 of their last 4 by double digits. So they're just not good. And if Cooper Kupp's not 100%, I hope he plays, but there's a chance he doesn't play. If he doesn't play, they are absolutely screwed. So, yeah, and Tampa has their issues. There's no question about it. People keep going to them and they keep losing. But I just think the Rams are worse right now. So I'm going to take Tampa as well.
All right. The Sunday night game, Tennessee Titans, a.k.a. the Derrick Henrys, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Chiefs are a 12.5-point favorite at home. Adam, this was one of the games you said, teams with winning records going up against each other, and it's a fucking 12.5-point spread. What side are you on?
I'm on the Chiefs. I know the Titans are 5-2, but they have a -6 differential in points. And we talked about this before the year. We were both on the under for the Titans 9.5 wins. But my 2 concerns why it could fail was, number 1, Mike Vrabel's a great coach. He's never had a losing season. And number 2, the division sucks. And all those things have come to fruition. I think right now, if you have a well-coached team that doesn't beat yourself, you're going to be good. The Giants are the perfect example with Dable, and you're seeing it with Vrabel. This team has Derrick Henry and a bag of shit on offense. Their defense has played better than I thought, but look who they've beaten. The Texans, the Colts, the Commanders, the Colts, the Raiders. Not Murderers Row. And the one good team they faced this year, the Bills, on a Monday night game, primetime. They got destroyed 41-7. I think you could be looking at that again. It's in Kansas City. They're coming off a bye. They're going to have to keep it close early or get a lead and keep feeding Derrick Henry. I know the number is big, and I think Kansas City has their flaws. I'm not completely sold on them, but I'm going to take Kansas City here.
I will lean KC as well. It's all about Kadarius Toney. He's going to be amazing. Going to run a punt back for a touchdown. And he's going to catch a touchdown. He's going to have like 1 catch for 57 yards. It's going to be a touchdown. It's going to be amazing.
Okay.
No, not really. It's Pat Mahomes. It's Travis Kelce. It's the two of them. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce trumps Derrick Henry in my eyes.
And if Malik Willis starts, forget it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's actually going to be forced to pass in this game.
Yeah, he's not ready for that. Monday Night Football. Baltimore Ravens taking on the New Orleans Saints. Monday night home dog. Again, another Monday night home dog here, Adam. Saints plus 2.5. I take it by default.
I love the Ravens here, man. Their biggest problem this year has been blown leads, but this team's schedule starts to get juicy. Look, the Saints are a hard team to figure out. I know last week they were dominant, but that was more of the ineptitude of the Raiders. So I think Baltimore's defense obviously gets better too, adding Roquan Smith. That's a big deal.
Oh, right. I love that for them.
Yeah.
Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith in the middle of that fucking field.
Yeah, so I like the Ravens here. So I'm going to take them. I know it is a little concern on the road and all that, but I'm going to take them.
Listen, God bless him. I hope they do it. I've got enough shares of Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews in season-long fantasy that I would love to see that happen. But I do Monday night home dogs on principle at this point. Yeah, and it worked for me last week. So of course it's got to hit again, right? What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, keep going back to it.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here tonight. Adam, we kept it under the hour and a half mark here, barely.
Close enough.
Close enough. Well, there it is. Well, then we try to do a nice full show for you guys because we're only going weekly right now. Maybe we'll pick up the pace a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. Adam's still getting situated in the NBA. I'm still neck deep in the NFL, so we'll get you guys covered. In the meantime, Adam, always a pleasure. Any parting shots you want to take at me or words of wisdom you want to endow our listeners with?
Nah, I won't take any more shots at you, but you need to loosen up and let players have some fun in the NFL.
It's crap. Keep your helmets on. I tell you, sometimes it's just so easy. That's going to do it for us here on Cash It. Big thank you to everybody out there for liking and subscribing. Share with your friends, baby. That's right. Adam and I are going to be back next week. Wishing you guys all the best of luck with all your bets, all across all sports here, and especially, obviously, NFL Week 9. For Adam Ronis, I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next time.